What's going on, guys? Cam from Fight Octave here, and today I just want to talk to you guys about how I believe Ilia Topuria will knock out or beat Max Holloway in any way, shape, or form. And here is why. When you look at this matchup, Ilia Topuria is one of the greatest featherweight prospects we have ever seen. If you go back and look, there was featherweight Connor, we had featherweight Volk in his prime. Ilia Topuria is up there with these guys. Okay. Ilia is one of the most interesting featherweights we have seen. He has some of the best striking in the UFC and some of the best striking we've ever seen in the featherweight division. And he's facing a guy who is arguably one of the best strikers in the UFC, if not the best. So when you look at this matchup, you're going to think, well, you know, Max does have more experience. Max is the set in stone one of the best strikers in the UFC. But you know what? Ilia is a different kind of striker. He's a different kind of fighter. He has wrestling, unbelievable wrestling that is we have not seen. We've seen bits and pieces. We have not seen this unbelievable wrestling. Also, his calf kicks. Ilia Topuria's calf kicks is some of the best kicks we have seen in the featherweight division, and I believe they're highly underrated. No one talks about his kicks high enough. They are so well put together. They're so strong. They're so fast. No one talks about Ilia's kicks a lot, and I feel like you saw a lot of his kicks in that fight with Volkanovski in the beginning. He was chopping down the tree. Max Holloway also has some of the best kickboxing in the UFC. So you put these guys up together, it's going to be a super interesting fight, and I cannot wait to watch it. But Ilia Topuria will come out on top. He's undefeated. He's the more well-skilled fighter. He's the younger fighter. He's the sharper fighter. And I'm not doubting Max Holloway. Max Holloway is Max Holloway. I cannot doubt him. You cannot you cannot look at me in straight face and tell me that Max Holloway has a guaranteed win or a guaranteed loss here. Because I think there is a chance for Max Holloway to win. I don't think it's big. I didn't have this channel at the time during the Justin Gaethje fight, but I was saying the same thing to my friends. I did not believe Max Holloway was going to win that fight. I thought Gaethje was going to maul him. Boy, was I wrong. Max Holloway knocked him out cold. So I could be wrong on this, but my belief is that Holloway is not the same level as Topuria. Ilia Topuria is a different skilled fighter. This is a new age. This is a new young age of fighters that is coming through here, and I think a lot of these vets are in big trouble. I don't know who they would match up with Ilia next. Probably Diego Lopez. And that's a whole different conversation because this is two of the newest level of this new featherweight division. And that will tell us a lot about what's going to happen of the future of that division. But at this rate, I will not be surprised if Holloway does somehow get the win. It's still there. I think Holloway could pull out a knockout, huge upset, somehow get it through. I believe the betting lines are wrong. I believe they have it very wrong. I believe Topuria should be a 3-1 favorite, maybe even a 4-1 favorite. But I completely understand where they're at right now. I understand where they're at. I'm not saying they're wrong. And somewhat I agree, but I think Topuria's odds should be a lot higher for I think he will win. And it's not set in stone, but there's a very high chance. And it pains me to say it. I am a big Max Holloway fan. I was before the Gaethje fight. I'm even more of a fan after that. That was one of the best performances we have ever seen in 25 minutes. That was one of the most electrifying knockouts we have ever seen. Holloway is an amazing fighter. He is one of the best ever in the UFC. He's one of my favorite. He's one of the most entertaining. He's the BMF. He's one of the best. But will he be able to match the energy of this new young generation? We're going to find out. We will also find out with Diego Lopez. And it's going to be a real wake-up call for Max Holloway when he finds out the power of Ilia Topuria. This is not Justin Gaethje power. This is not Dan Hooker power. This is not Dustin Poirier power. Ilia Topuria has some of the most powerful hands in the UFC. I don't care if Volk was coming off of a knockout loss to Islam. That doesn't matter. Islam is the greatest lightweight of all time. That's a fact as well. And this guy put Volk out right away. And it's somewhat sad. I was a Volk fan, but I don't think these guys can match up with what Ilia Topuria has to offer. So therefore, I'll be picking Ilia Topuria for this fight. I feel like it's very set in stone, and it's not far-fetched that Max Holloway could win. But 90, 91, 92% says Ilia Topuria wins this fight. Possibly the first person to knock Max Holloway out. And if there's anyone that can do it, it is Ilia Topuria. So that's what I think about this fight. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. I'll be coming out with more predictions as this UFC pay-per-view comes closer. We have Hamza Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker also on this card. Bunch of awesome fights on this card, but make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, and I'll come out with more content about this event. So appreciate you guys for watching. Peace.